story time or story time of the moment is going to be about my third miscarriage, okay? So, for a little bit of backstory, I am currently 25, right? Um, and there was a little bit of drama going on last year to the point where it was like I was in a situation where I was seeing this white man, but he had a girlfriend, and like it was a whole thing, right? So turns out me and him, we were intimate a couple of times, blah blah blah, stuff happens. And then next thing I know, it's getting to be like, I don't know. I would say like my birthday's in September, right? So then it was about like October, end of October or whatever. And I'm getting like these weird like feelings, like my body is kind of like feeling weird. So I'm thinking like, oh, like am I pregnant? I can't be pregnant. And I'm here texting him and he's like, "Oh, like I don't think you're pregnant, like whatever, like that rarely happens, you know." And then he be going on like some kind of rant saying that like his sperm count is low or like he can't get girls pregnant that often or whatever. I don't know. But we weren't using condoms for basically the whole time, right? So I'm telling him, I'm like, bro, I know something is weird because my body is acting up weird. I feel like my boobs are getting bigger, blah, 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 right? Basically, all the side effects of pregnancy. But I just kind of kept ignoring it. And then even when I finally got a pregnancy test, it still said negative. So I'm thinking, like, what the hell? So if you watch my last story time, I'm pretty sure like my pregnancy hormones just aren't strong enough to be detected. I feel like that's actually like a thing or whatever. So turns out um turns out I was actually pregnant, right? I'm here, I go to the doctor because I'm like checking for breast cancer because even before that, before all of this happened, I had like what is it called, like a cyst in my chest, and they were testing to see if it's breast cancer or if it's a benign cyst or whatever. So then when she was doing my like the little mammogram scan thingy on my boobs, she was saying that my milk ducts are like clogged and that's what's making my boobs bigger. And I was like, oh, is that a bad thing? And she was like, well, I don't know, blah blah blah. Like she couldn't even figure it out, right? And then of course the test came back negative. I don't have breast cancer. So I would like text the guy all of this stuff, you know, this white man. And you know, I don't know, he was just like a narcissist or whatever. So he was just in denial about what was happening to me. Like he's not really like a caring person. He just kept saying like, oh, you know, you'll be okay. I don't think you have cancer. I don't think you're pregnant, blah blah blah. But I'm like, okay, I might not be either one of those, but at least like give me some reassurance or like motivate me. I don't know, whatever, like be positive, you know. um but anyways, when I take the pregnancy test, it says negative. Next thing I know, like my cramps are like super bad. I'm like the most tired I've ever been in my life, and it's like I think I was still getting my period though, so that's why I was thinking like, no, I'm not pregnant. Like I am still getting my period. Blah blah blah. Like I don't think I'm pregnant. The pregnancy test said negative, you know. So basically I had all the symptoms, right? And then this was the first time where my boobs were actually like growing, because with my past miscarriages, like I didn't even feel it for real, blah blah blah, you know. I just had a little bit of cramps and I was tired, right? But this time it's like all the symptoms were like severe. And I didn't even like my stomach wasn't getting bigger or anything like that, right? So next thing I know, it's like I'm like super tired. I'm sleeping for like large lengths of time. My boobs are getting super big to the point where like I'm at work, and then like this lady at work was like, God damn, like your boobs are big, like they're big. And I'm like, bro, calm the fuck down. And of course the white man, you know, he was there too. And then so she pointed out my boobs to him. She was like, gosh, like aren't her boobs huge? And he was like, oh, I know, right? Like blah, I don't know. He made some kind of like comment or whatever. um, but it's like he kept trying to tell me that I wasn't pregnant, and I was like, bro, I know my body. Like this is different. Like I never been through this shit, right? So next thing I know, um, I don't know. I feel like my boobs grew like a whole size. That's how I knew like I was actually pregnant, right? So next thing I know, I'm at work one day and I'm going to the bathroom. It's like a normal day, and I literally have a miscarriage at work, and I'm like, oh, what the hell? And like the past miscarriages were like different because those were just like, you know, you couldn't really tell what it was. It's just like a little tiny blob. But this one, I was probably pregnant for like maybe a month, or who knows, it could have been 2 months at this point. So I like saw in the toilet, it was like this little like alien looking thing, and it wasn't like a regular like what's it called, a blood clot or anything like that, right? It was like some weird ass looking shit. That's how I knew I had a miscarriage. And then I was like low key bleeding too. And I was like, oh hell no, like I'm here having a miscarriage at work. What the fuck? So then I text the guy and I'm like, bro, I need to talk to you. Like something just happened. Let me tell you a secret. And he was like, okay, just like meet me upstairs because we were at work when this happened, right? So then I go to him upstairs and we're like just like standing in the middle of the aisle, and then I'm like, bro, I just had a miscarriage. And he was like, no, you did not. No, you did not. Like, he was in denial. And then he kept saying, like, he was like, oh, maybe it was from some other guy you're with. And I'm like, first of all, you of all people should know that I don't do stuff with multiple guys at the same time, right? So he was in denial that it was his, or that I actually did have a miscarriage. And then he was like, oh, you should have took a picture for proof to show me. And I'm like, why the fuck would I take a picture of that thing in the toilet with my blood? Like, that's weird. And then he was just like being super mean about it. And I was like, really? Like, the first question you should ask a woman, like, after anything like that happens, you should ask her, like, are you okay? Like, do you need anything? Blah, blah, blah. You should be like supportive or whatever, especially because, like, it was his, bro. Because imagine if I didn't even, like, know I was pregnant, right? I just, like, continued everything as normal. I would have had his baby at that point. So he was just like really mean about it, and like he was a narcissist, so of course, like, he didn't care about me for real. So that's when I was like, dang, like this guy, he really has no feelings for me. And obviously, like, it's not like we're dating or anything, but it's more so the fact that he doesn't even care, like, as a human being, right? That like this woman, another woman, like had a miscarriage or whatever. So he was really rude about it. And then I was like, oh, you know what? Fuck this guy, blah, blah, blah. And, then I ended up snitching on him at work. And it was like a whole big ass deal or whatever. But like I feel like this miscarriage, like low key hit harder than the last ones, because I always said when I was younger that whenever, like, if I got pregnant before I turned 25, I would just like I would just get rid of it, right? But now that I got pregnant, like right after I turned 25, I'm thinking like, dang, like this hit different, because like I could have literally been pregnant. I could have been a mom like right now, like, so it's like this last miscarriage hit different just because it did happen after I turned 25, but obviously like it wasn't meant to be, first of all, because it was with like an evil man, you know, and it's just like it just wasn't meant to be, obviously. But like that's just weird, like the whole thought of like you could possibly be like a parent if like things didn't happen the way that they did. But like I'm glad, because imagine I would have to like co-parent, not co-parent, but like, I don't know, just share a kid with like that evil human being. But like since then I've been abstinent because I don't know, I feel like being pregnant is a weird feeling. I don't know how they do it, because I was only pregnant for like who knows, like 2 months or so. But like I don't get how women go like a whole 9 months being pregnant. Like that seems so exhausting, especially because me, I was sleeping nonstop. But anyways, that's the third miscarriage story time. Hopefully, I mean, there'll probably gonna be more. Who the hell knows if I can even have kids at this point. But yeah, a lot of crazy stuff happened. So I'm gonna keep doing story times for y'all. Bye.